Hey guys, what's going on? This is your old pal CHH, and today's video is kind of a physical media thing I want to show you, but it's really more of a discussion because, I mean, that's what I think the moral of this whole video is and to talk about. And it's not necessarily a good thing or a bad thing. It can be a good thing for certain fans of certain movies, and for other people, they just find it as a waste of time. And that's the reality. But I think it's always important to talk about both sides because in any moment when physical media releases get announced, you could fall on either side, like, this is ridiculous, why are they putting their resources into stuff like that, where other people can say, this is great, I love this movie, any sort of new information I can get, let's get into it. Now, the company we're going to be talking about today is Umbrella Entertainment, who I like what they do, and the number one reason I like what they do, and I'm going to tell you exactly why this is because of the variety that they offer. A lot of times when they see these companies put out new releases, sometimes they put out these releases with extravagant high-end versions, and sometimes that's it. And sometimes that's it for a while, and you can't get any sort of standard version for God only knows how long, sometimes a year, 8 months. And, I like the fact that the Umbrella seems to give you options. So you can get the bulky version, you can get a slimmer version, and they do this with different kinds of box sets. Now, the moral of this whole thing is, or the whole germ of the idea of this video is, horror collecting and physical media collecting in general is definitely getting more niche, good or bad. And that's what I want to talk to you guys about today. So let me show you this release right here, and I'll go into why I ended up getting a different version of this going forward. So, as you guys may know, watching this channel, hopefully you do, if not, I'm a huge Charles Band fan. I'm a big fan of the Empire movies, the early golden era of Full Moon. Those movies mean a lot to me. Well, Umbrella started getting into Charles Band's filmography, and they would put out stuff like this. This was the Full Moon Video Zone Fright Box. And this is basically Volume 1. Now, it wasn't called Volume 1 at the time, I don't think. But what this is a nice hardbox release with demonic toys. Demonic toys, too. I'll give you guys a little bit of an example. Let me pull one out. Here, let's look at Doll Man. And because this is overseas, I think quad posters are popular over there. So they would do these cool quad posters. You open this up, and you'd have your Blu-rays. Now, the thing about this is these movies have been released on Blu-ray. Obviously, in America, Full Moon puts out their Blu-rays, but I'm going to be honest with you. I almost don't want to recommend this, but the reality is I almost think you should stop buying stuff directly from Full Moon because I don't think Charles Band is really putting the effort into making special features for his releases, much less updated versions, and I actually kind of hope Charles will license out his golden era films going forward to different companies like this, especially in America. But this was the deluxe version of the box set where everything came with slip covers. It came in a hardbound box, and it gives you the roster of the films. Very, very fun. Well, they did a Volume 2, and the reason I passed on it initially because I was like, you know what, they aren't super cheap, and I have those titles. I didn't really look into if there were different kinds of features like that, but what I loved was what I learned that Umbrella offered a not as collectible version. When I found out that these releases did have new special features, including people that were involved with some of the making of these films, I was really interested, but I was like, I don't want to have to buy this version. It was pricey. These are, I mean, they're very well done, but there's no denying that these are pricey. Now, the quality's there. We'll never disparage the quality whatsoever. Then I learned that Umbrella offered not as collectible versions. So this is what this is. This is the Volume 2 box set. At first glance, you're like, well, that looks pretty nice, but as you can see, this is not the super collectible version. This box set is more of a, it's not a super hard box. It's kind of like that plastic material, or not plastic, but thin cardboard material. But the front's actually still embossed. Now, the reason I ended up wanting to get this is because I saw that there were new features on these discs, and that was really exciting to me because this is what I was getting at. Niche collecting now. Now companies are taking formats where these movies already exist, and they're going out of their way to make more supplementary features. That could be intriguing to some people. That could not be intriguing to other people. It all just depends on if you're interested in the films, whether special features are important to you or not. And for me, that's very, very important. I love special features. I love to catalog that sort of stuff as much as the movies themselves. That's my number one thing. As much as resolution in terms of like or restoration stuff, the picture quality, I'm a supplementary junkie. I love all that stuff. So I thought it was cool when I went online. I saw, oh, they have a standard box version, and this is Volume 2, Puppet Master, Slimeball Bolorama, which is a great movie, which I think technically was Empire, but I'm not sure. But we'll look at this and I'll show you the difference. Going back, this one, hard box. You've got the slip covers on all the movies. Comes with a booklet, comes with little diorama cards you can make. This one just comes with the movies, no slip covers, but still comes in a box set. So let's pull these out. And I'll put this here so you guys can see it. Just the quality of that. Alright, so the first movie we have is Seed People, which is a classic little sci-fi horror full moon film. There's audio commentaries with Pete Manoogian, the director, with David Flint. Audio commentary with full moon historian Nate Brenner. Watch the Skies, actor Sam Heenigs on Seed People. I'll Tumble for You, special effects sculptor Ted Haynes on Seed People. By Any Means Necessary, Jarrett Gahan on How Body Snatchers Stole Our Form Video Zone episode trailer. So half of the features on here were not even included on the American Full Moon Blu-ray. They just weren't. And that's something to me that's like excellent because I love learning about these early Full Moon titles. So that's cool. You still get the full-size Blu-ray discs. It's not like where some of these releases come out, they use these really thin cases. I believe Arrow did that on the Empire of Screams Blu-ray collection. I could be off on that. Here's Shadow Zone, another early heyday Full Moon movie. Audio commentary with author and Full Moon historian Nate Brenner. My Thing, writer and director J.S. Cardone on Shadow Zone. A Dream Within a Dream, Guy Davis on Sleep, Horror, and Trailer. There you have it. These don't have reversible art on the inside. They have cool little images. Here we go, guys. Puppet Master. This was exciting to me. This is the Puppet Master release on Blu-ray. I do like the disc art that they've done with these. And on the inside, you see the actual Puppet Master himself with all the, figures on the wall. On this one, we have an audio commentary with Nate Brenner, the Dollman's Demonic Toys animatronic engineer Mark Rappaport on Puppet Master, First Dance Under the Moon writer J.S. Cardone on Puppet Master, Pull the Strings Alexandra Heller-Nicholas on Puppet Master, on Puppets and Horror, the introduction by Charles Band, which is on every release. No Strings Attached, Making of Puppet Master. So there is so many new interviews on here, which is so awesome to me. I love that. That was something I was like, man, so Umbrella really did go out of their way to try to get new interviews and stuff like that. And that's why I was like, you know what, this one, I want to get these to have them because this is very niche. Obviously, something like this for people in America, this was something you'd be interested in if you're just a big, big fan. And I actually like it when some stuff like this happens because, like I said, I love that kind of stuff. And last but certainly not least, Sorority Babes and the Slimeball Bolorama. Such a sleazy, fun movie. There's the imp in here is hysterical. This movie's great. This one has an audio commentary with Nate Brenner, audio commentary by David Ducodu, Sergi Hassanis, and Brink Stevens, whose Brink was amazing in this. The cerebral scream queen Brink Stevens on Sorority Babes and Slimeball Bolorama, Tales from the Bowling Alley, behind-the-scenes featurette, Brink vs. the Imp 2000 interview with Brink Stevens, Sorority Babes, and the Dance-a-thon of Death trailer. So all these have some pretty cool exclusive special features, which I just think is fantastic. I love the artwork on there. There's the Imp right there. Now, the reverse art of this, they actually called the movie The Imp. But Sorority Babes and the Slimeball Bolorama is a pretty great title. So that's another thing. Maybe some of you, I don't know how if not everybody's aware, but they do have versions of that box set that are, you still get the movies in the case, but it's just not that hardbound box. And I was like, well, that's perfect for me with this, because I don't want to spend the money to get all these. The titles have to be great and stuff like that. Maybe the special features even better. But to have that right there in a release where I can have those special features, not spend that much money on the more standard version, that's my thing. So the question is, are you guys into the more niche type of collecting now with physical media, like where these companies overseas are putting out titles that already are available on the format in America easily, but they're doing special things. They're getting new interviews for them and stuff like that. My question is that something you guys are into, or is it just case by case? I know that 101 Films is doing their own version of the Demonic Toys stuff, and there's all new features on that. And so I'm going to have to really look into that to see if that's something I'm into, because like I really love these movies. My question would be like, if they had a new Halloween release come out and there was a new John Carpenter interview on it, would that be something you'd be into? Or if they did Halloween 3 and 101 Films does one, would you be interested in that if they do new Tommy Lee Wallace or a Tom Atkins interview? What would it take for you to want to buy something again on a same format? Or is it just because you love the movie? That's what I'm getting at with this whole thing. I think that's interesting. And I think it's something we all love to a certain extent. But also, sometimes I think it could be the opposite end, where people are just like, I'm sick of this, let's put out different titles. I just wanted to see where everybody's head was at with this, because that's something I've always wanted to discuss. And I thought, well, when I got this release, I was like, I could just do an unboxing of this, or I could have an honest discussion about the niche collecting market today with releases coming out overseas that are movies most people own, but they're, you know, they've got supplementary things that are maybe unique to them, and is that interesting to people? So that's where I'm getting at with this whole thing, guys. Thank y'all for watching this. Please let me know your thoughts on this whole thing down below. This is your old pal CHH. I'll talk to you guys very, very soon. Take care. Huge, giant thank you to all of my Patreon supporters. Without you guys, this would not be possible. To get behind-the-scenes photos, videos, music, private live streams, and much more, you can subscribe to my Patreon for as little as $1 a month. Thank you to my patrons.